Welcome everyone to my story session today. Today we have LP Pasura. LP Pasura will guide us today. So let's pay respect to our teaching monk together. Bow, bow, bow.
Good evening, and welcome to the My Story sessions that we will share a moment of meditation together. So, as it was introduced, that my name is LP Pasura. So tonight I'll be sharing the guided meditations and a little bit of the wisdom talk at the end. Just a few reminders of meditation practice. That when it comes to meditation practice, I know that the many times it is emphasized on how to keep being balanced between consciousness and comfort. But the idea or the understanding of the word consciousness is actually very tricky because a lot of time when we try to focus, we actually force ourselves to focus. And that's exactly how we have been, being focused throughout our life at school or at work. But when in meditation practice, if we force our focus, just like you pay attention at school, it will bring tension and doesn't bring comfort and peace. In order to practice meditation, we aim to reach inner peace. If our mind is always being forced, imagine you at school, if you force your focus, you won't feel at peace, right? Therefore, if you want to feel at peace, it means that that focus should really being built up. And that is why when I talk about the term consciousness or being conscious, which is the foundation of meditation. So the big question that you should sort of a little bit, contemplate on would be when you notice wandering thoughts, when you notice distraction, when you notice feeling pain, feeling discomfort, feeling any challenges at all, any of these moments of time that you notice them, are you still being conscious? Even that, aware of your distraction? And the answer is yes, because you're conscious of what's going on in your mind. You're conscious that you have so many thoughts going through your head. So in the practice of meditation, even though the mind becomes silent, achieving inner peace will come, but it doesn't come from the very beginning. It comes after we take some moment for the mind to slowly settle down to the point of stillness and calmness. And that's why during the time to that point, there'll be moments that we feel tired, we feel challenges, we feel distracted, which is the common nature of human being. Doesn't mean that you have done anything wrong. So if you experience any distractions, any wandering thoughts, but you're conscious of them by feeling very comfortable, that means you're doing it right. And this is why I'd like to emphasize on that part when it comes to the practice of meditation would be as long as you can still maintain the feeling that I'm feeling very content where I am. It may not be like super comfortable like you lying on the beach, but I don't feel much trouble with what's going on. I notice the thoughts, I notice the distraction, I notice discomfort, but it doesn't really bother me. I can just stay like this for as long as it takes. When you have this kind of feeling, it means nothing really take your attention away. And that's what it means to be conscious, to stay conscious with comfort. And exactly with your practice of meditation, that's what we aim for. Regardless of the technique that you would try, whether following your breath, repeating the mantras, visualization of brightness, observing your body senses, all of these are just a point to hold your attention. For example, right now, if you try to explain how you stay conscious, you will explain that I'm being conscious of being in the session, looking at the camera, looking at my devices, feeling the wind blow on my face. So that's how you stay conscious, right? But when it comes to being conscious, we rely on feelings or thoughts in order to know that we are conscious. But it can reach to one point where you don't need to rely on them anymore. And that is why all methods of meditation are selected thoughts or feeling so that we can keep our attention on during the time that we want the mind to get to that point of settlement. So that is a little bit of what I would like to remind, that to practice meditation, remember that you are not making it happen. Think of it this way. Normally, we engage with everything in our mind like an actor. So to practice meditation is when you take a step back from an actor to an audience. So anytime you face challenges, anytime you face wandering thoughts, distractions, feeling discomfort, pause. Take a step back to be an audience. Keep reminding yourself, I'm just an audience. I'm just taking a break right now. Regardless of what's going on, I know that it's there. I'm not going to push them away, but at the same time, I'm not following those distractions. My part is simply to sit back, relax, and be an audience. Because from time to time, we would jump in and become an actor in the movie, which is this distraction. Anytime you realize you jump into the screen and become an actor, take a step back, take a moment to restart, and eventually it will get better on its own. That's actually how to really maintain that moment of peace and prolong it. Eventually, our mind will settle, and that is the time when we reach that inner peace that we're looking forward to have from the practice of meditation. So remember, the key to do it is take your time, keep stepping back to be an audience, and whenever you bump into any challenges, restart, reset from the very beginning. Keep reminding yourself, as long as I'm conscious very comfortably, I'm still on the right track to reach to this point. So this is actually what I like to emphasize on the practice of meditation, just to lay down some groundwork so that whenever you practice, you don't bump into this misconception of understanding of how meditation should work. Remember that it's about letting it happen. We're not constructing focus. We accumulating moment of consciousness, moments of being mindful until the foundation is solid. And eventually, in a peace, focus, concentration will be built up on its own. That's essentially our task. So, people are logging in right now. So, just a couple more moments. So, we started together. So, during the time, if you can stretch your body to get body adjusted in order to practice meditation, remember that it's about starting very comfortably. It's all about getting adjusted, stretching your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your neck. So before the beginning of meditation, slowly turn your attention back to yourself. And please take your time during this moment to adjust your sitting posture. Always begin each meditation with the feeling that you just take a break to rest on your holiday. From this moment onward, our one and only task is to step back and be an audience. So take your time to turn your attention back to yourself, adjusting your sitting posture, whether you be sitting on a chair or on the floor. Allow that posture to be the one that you don't have to resist against the gravitational thoughts, and be able to completely release your entire body weight towards your seat and the gravity. Allow your whole body to settle into a very comfortable posture, coming down at your seat. Observe as your blood circulation flows smoothly from top to toes. Once you found that your posture is comfortable, turn your attention to feel your eyes close very softly in the way that there is no tension at the corners of your eyes or the eyeballs. Allow the relaxation from your eyes to spread towards your forehead, down to your temples, nose, cheeks. Allow the relaxation to flush down from your neck towards your shoulders, down to your arms and your hands, from your body down to your legs and feet. Allow your entire body to be very comfortable, just like you are taking your time on a vacation away from people and all responsibilities, just to rest, the time for yourself, to be free from all burdens. So relax every single muscle, especially all around your face and all of the joints in your entire body. Anytime you are distracted by your thoughts or your surroundings, it is the nature of our mind to be distracted. Anytime you notice a distraction, turn your attention back to your body's comfort very gently. Keep coming back to this relaxation, and those distractions will disappear eventually. It is not our task to push them away or try to block them. Our one and only task is to be still at our seat, to sit back and be at ease, be an audience towards all external matters. So relax every muscle, allow relaxation to fill every part of your entire body. You may take a long, soft, and deep breath in, feeling the cool air passing your nostrils down. Exhale very softly. Inhale gently, feeling that the air is reaching down towards the end in your abdomen. Breathe out. Allow your mind to be relieved from any matters, worries, or any other matters that you may have holding back. So let's feel yourself breathing in and out, softly and gently. Take your time to bring that breath, to bring your mind back to be with this present moment. As we are aware of our body relaxation, we'll be aware of our breath. The mind is here, and that is the way to inner peace. We start from being with the present moment and disengage from all matters. Whatever you notice, whatever catches your attention, let them pass by. Turn your mind back to where you sit back, relaxed, and be at ease. So breathe in and breathe out. Feeling as if you are sitting all alone in an empty, open space without anybody nearby, away from people and all matter. Somewhere you can just free up your mind from all restraints, from all binding, so that your mind can be liberated. That freedom is the opening to inner peace. And start by being present with the feeling that this is your space. Or you can picture yourself somewhere that you like to be in the nature, like sitting on the beach, gazing upon the horizon, or being on top of the mountain and looking down at the green rolling hills, or just a blank canvas of space all the way to the skyline. Wherever you feel that this spot, this space belongs to you, and in this space there is no intrusion or disturbance. You are free to just be, to rest all by yourself No need to care about any demand or request. Stay right there with your entire body relaxed. Like taking rest on the holiday in an isolated place without anybody disturbing, just yourself all alone. Relax and be at ease. Turn your attention within yourself and place it within the center, the feeling where your breath ends inside your body, the origin of inner peace lies deep in our mind, lies deep in our soul. When the mind returns with ourselves at the center's feeling, it feels calm and settled. So lay your mind down very softly within your center space. Along the way, we shall be very gentle because the mind is so delicate. So be gentle, soft, in keeping our mind inside. If any of you feel like being at the center right away, feel fast, then you may just keep it somewhere that you feel at ease for now. It could be in front of you, on top of you, or anywhere else that you find simple and comfortable. Once you might stay there properly, it will return to yourself at the center on its own. We are not forcing and directing. We simply recognizing this point of comfort, calmness, and peace. With the mind laid down still, softly and gently. Keep it there with ease, without the need to interact. No matter what appears, trying to take your attention away, you still remain at this point of ease, being so calm, comfortable, being so gentle. So keep steady with your center space. Or you may visualize a bright image to represent your mind. It could be like the sun at midday, the full moon, or a bright tiny spark. Feel that bright image within you. You may visualize a big bright sun to represent your mind. Feel that appear at your center. Let the warm bright light expand and radiate, giving the warm feeling of peace. By being so soft and gentle, keeping the mind still with the warm bright sun. Be gentle, be soft, with the mind still inside, with the warm bright shining sun. To keep it gentle, soft and calm. To be calm is achieved by not bothering with anything. Keep the sun bright and warm. Some of you may prefer the mantra, which is the gentle, repetitive sound that we let it come from deep in our mind. Let the sound keep coming, like when you listen to the music in your mind, without the need to say it out loud. Sammaraham, 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 or any other words or phrase that you're happy to be reminded. So let the sound keep coming. Sammaraham, Sammaraham, Sammaraham. Let your mind be with the sun, soothed by mantra. um, 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 feel the warm bright sun. Be gentle and soft. With your mind later still comfortably. It will come to the moment when everything fades out. Just have mantra turn quiet. The sun is still bright. The mind stands still. Samma Arahang. Samma Arahang. Samma Arahang. As you turn your mind to the inside, you find a corner of peace where your mind lay down and immerse deeply in the calmness. We gently keep our attention there without trapping or forcing pressing. We gently recognize this inner comfort with a little feeling of the sun to bring it here within. Some around, some around, some around, or any of the words or phrases of your choices. As the mind comes to a standstill, gently place your attention at the middle point of the peace energy or the sun and allow it to expand. Allow the wave of peace energy to expand from inside of you with a warm sensation of the sun, the brightness of peace energy, until it covers yourself like a big bright ball, so soothing with yourself in there. Expand it further, radiating all around, reaching out to every creature, every person, everywhere. I gently tap upon the center point, allow it to keep expanding, radiating this peace energy. Carry your loving kindness, compassion, the intent to see everyone happy and be free of pain and misery. So we share this energy of peace to everyone, everywhere. Expand further and further beyond the horizon. Expand beyond all borders and boundaries. Expand and reach out to your loved one, friends and family, relatives, wishing everyone to be kind, to be compassionate to one another, to extend respect to each other. Wherever this peace energy goes, let your positive intent follow. Leave the seed of kindness in every heart, mind, and soul. Everyone on this planet be free of pain and sadness. Always be joyful, love, expand. So take back to yourself. Allow that kindness and compassion to fill your entire being, to give that embrace back to you, to comfort yourself with the peace energy Let the touch of kindness gently enwrap all around your entire being. And then that aroma of settle repeats. Slowly bring your attention back to the surface by slowly acknowledge the feeling of your face, the feeling of your hands. Slowly take a long, soft, and deep breath all the way down to the center's feeling. Exhale very softly. Breathe in deeper down. Exhale until you feel more comfortable. You may slowly stretch your neck, your shoulders, your arms, your hands. And when you're comfortable, you may slowly open your eyes and stretch a few more. So that is the conclusion of meditation. So, how did you feel with today's practice? If you one also principle of how to develop our experience would be to assess or to monitor our practice. So you can actually assess how did you feel your meditation practice, if it's feeling relaxed and calm or feeling restless. So you can actually use it as a little kind of scoring. For example, if you feel restless, let's say score is 1, but if you feel very calm and peaceful, the score is 5. So actually, that is one way. So if you can maybe share your experience tonight on the chat, whether what is 1 to 5, 1 being restless and 5 being so calm, because this is also how we can keep up with our practice to see the way we are improving the practice by knowing that, oh, if I adjust this way, I can take my time with these steps and it bring this result. So that is actually how we can keep repeating the same process. So there are people who started to come in with a lot of 5, 4. So sharing with the very calm Bettina and feeling equanimity. Very good, very good. So it's interesting when Bettina said I'd like to keep on meditating for a bit longer. And that's what the feeling of contentment I was explaining is like. The feeling that it don't bother with the duration and don't bother with anything at all, but it's just so comfortable being exactly like I am. That's what contentment is like. And when you are content, that is when nothing out there really affect your attention. So it is actually very good to keep up with that practice. If you can monitor each time to sit down to meditate, that's what you're looking for. So if you have any questions that you like to add, because I don't really come to this meditation very often, but if you have any questions you'd like to ask, you can also put in the chat as well. So I will be very, very happy to answer this question for you. But that is the thing that I was explaining at the beginning would be how to keep up with the practice by each time start just like you take a vacation. Remember that you can't force your mind to become because think of it this way. If there's a patch of grass and you put a stone on the patch of grass, so it feels like the grass, dying. But in fact, the moment you lift the stone, the grass will grow back. So the cause of it never really disappeared. Same with our mind. If we force our mind to be still, underneath it's still boiling. It doesn't really feel peace. It's just like you have put the lid on that boiling oil inside our mind, inside your mind. So peace doesn't really come to you. It only comes when you are able to reduce the temperature, reduce that boiling by not adding more fuel to it. And that's actually how you get to that state of being peaceful. And that is what I was explaining about. Take a step to be an audience, not to be an actor engaging with thoughts or matters as come by. So, so a lot of for Sandy, for Margaret, and Toby said 5. Very good. So I think recording is available if you contact the team. These sessions is recorded, so you should get them as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Sorry, Long Pi, before we go to the questions, so I would like to invite everyone to turn on your camera, your webcam, and give your smile for a group photo. ขออนุญาตหลวงพี่นะคะ Let's smile. Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Wait for someone, turn on the camera. Okay, give us big smile. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Long Pi.
All right. So I got a question from Manish. Is sufferings mandatory? In my experience, I avoid suffering initially, and later I suffer more, multiply how to nullify this vicious circle. Very interesting question, actually. That's a very good question. So first of all, when we talk about the concept of sufferings, which is actually, the nature of life, the terms of used in Buddhism is called dukkha, and to mean difficult, while ka is shortened from kantis that refer to patience. In the other words, being suffered would mean facing a situation that is very, very hard to cope with or be patient with. That's actually the meaning of being suffered. On the other hand, the word happiness or sukha, just the opposite, easy to be patient with. That means easy to cope, easy to deal with. So in this notion, if you take a look at the terms, that means the same situation, people will feel about it differently. Because the level of patience from one to the next are not the same, right? Let's say I got heartbroken. You're heartbroken as well. So even though we face the same scenarios of being heartbroken, but I may get more upset than you are. I may feel more suffer than you are. Because for me, it's very, very hard to deal with. For you, it might be easy to deal with. So happiness and sufferings can be subjective as well, depends on the conditions of our mind. So even the same scenarios, people will probably take it differently. So that's the first thing to bear in mind, that Whether how big or small the suffering is depends on how our mind cope with it. Number two, in our philosophy, the meditation suffering is actually not mandatory, but is actually in the nature of things. There are two aspects of suffering. The first one is just the regular suffering, aging, sickness, and death are common to everybody. Nobody can escape it. But the other ones come from our mind and come from two main conditions. First one, want something but not getting it. Number two, being parted from what you love. So this is actually reality of life. We don't always have control over everything in our world. We don't have control about every aspect of our life. Reality, everything will be on its own. You cannot stop the sun from rising and setting. This is how reality is. So the reality is I don't always get what I want. And even something that I have, one day it will be gone because nothing lasts forever. That's the reality of things. But we have the illusion, this is mine. If I have a job, I'm going to get a good job, I'm going to get a promotion. This is how I create that illusion to hold on to. And the more attachment I am to that illusion, the more I suffer because it's like I try to climb up the mountaintop and holding on to imaginary rope. I will not get there because there's no rope. It's just an illusion they have created. So, but we feel comfortable living in that illusion. So as long as we deny reality that, things not always perfect, but I can always choose how I want to feel about that situation. If we try to avoid a reality, eventually it will hit us. Eventually that house of cards will crumble down. And when reality hits you without being prepared, you're going to feel unable to embrace it and unable to deal with it. And that's why sometimes sufferings could be not a really big deal, but your feeling escalates so much. And that's what it's like. So when we talk about the concept of the Four Noble Truths as suffering as part of life, we talk about one feature of life that everybody faces, regardless of how wealthy you are on this planet. Doesn't mean that you can be the richest person of the world and you always get what you want. Everything just going your way. It may be easier. There may be more tendency, but it doesn't guarantee. So that's how we talk about sufferings. Therefore, you start with how you see yourself and embrace reality. And as long as each day you get up and feel that I have the blessing of this life, and from this I can keep moving on. So that would be the start. Okay, so I hope this gave you some way to deal with so-called sufferings of life. And here's said she has some strange dream in meditation, but wasn't sleeping. Since it's not very specific about what kind of, I wouldn't say dream. If you were sleeping, it could be vision. So one part of our mind is called memory. So it's contain everything that our senses, from see, hear, smell, taste, and feel recorded. But every senses that we recorded transform into image. So when the mind unwinding or when the mind settle, all these images came out as the kind of process of releasing or relieving or unwinding. And that's why sometimes you may bump into this weird vision or weird kind of dreamy feeling of this movie that you don't even know where they come from during your meditation. So because it could be just ongoing worries that you have in your mind, it could be just some event that kind of hit you somewhere that you might have collected it and haven't been processed. So those could be the reason that gives you this kind of weird dream. So the way to deal with it during your meditation would be to watch it. If you just watch it, observe it without interacting, eventually it will pass one point and it just disappear. But if it just bothering too much, you may open your eyes to reset and then start your meditation down again. So if the process of relieving is already done, you won't see it. If it's still there, but it will be lighter. How to manage inner critics if you have made bad mistake? This is actually quite interesting questions. There was a time in my life that my master usually to point out at me. I think it was around my 7 years of monkhood, and I have been handling so many responsibilities. And when he asked me, "How old are you at that time?" How many years I have been a monk? I told him 7 years. And one thing he said to me would be, at this age of monkhood, and you're handling these responsibilities, be careful. One day nobody is going to give you advice. I didn't think about it so much right at that time, but when I look back, it was kind of true. The thing is that when we started to grow this kind of feeling important, significant, or even sense of confidence, it can easily turn into ego. The word ego in our terms refer to holding on to the ideas of self. This is me, this is who I am. This is me, the image that I've created. And I'm holding on to this image, which is not reality, right? Because it's just image I have created. Just like the persona you have on your social media, those are just images you have created. It's not reality. But you want people to look at it in this way, and until you believe this is you. So when we hold on to that kind of image, we can't handle any things that will tearing down our confidence, or in other words, our ego. So whenever somebody criticize you, doesn't always mean bad. Because even you have been doing everything your best, trying to be very careful every step of the way. Actually, there could be some people misunderstand it. So think of it as like someone pointing you a treasure, pointing you some valuable advice. So if it's not correct, okay, I can make people confused that way. That means I may not explain it enough. I may not expressing it good enough. Or if it's true, good, even better. So I can actually learn from what I have done wrong. So next time I won't do it again, because eventually no one is perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect. And if we embrace that, critics as the way that think of it is that it's already hard to find someone with courage to point things out. So every day you have somebody who are willing to just point things out to you, say right to your face and giving critics or criticism to you. So if somebody, willing, courageous enough to give you that, it's worth to pay attention and make a little reflection. If it's not correct, so what? Okay, then I could cause people to misunderstand what I have been doing. So if it's correct, even better. Okay, I will be more careful next time. Either way, it helps us develop as a person. What if critic is within yourself? That is tricky, because that's when you're being very hard on yourself. So most of the time, those critics come from comparison to external factors, person, people, and everything. So we are living in the world right now that everything is moving fast, and we are consuming so much media, so much content, so much people's life out there, and they look great. And a lot of time when we look back into our life, it seems to be unsettling, like, oh, I'm far from having all this perfection that us people have. And with that comparison, we end up feeling being so critics about ourselves, that I'm not good enough, I have not done enough. Even though you have already tried your best, but you may end up feeling so exhausted with all of these things that you have been doing. So that's why there is actually one word. I know that everybody wants to have love. And, we meditating, we talk about sharing loving kindness, right? But remember one thing though, you can't give what you don't have. If you want to share love, first you must have love. If you want to share peace, you got to have peace. So that means start loving yourself. Love in this context of Buddhism is not about love as passion. Passion means having something. I want something. That's passion. Love in the concept of Buddhism is compassion, and is about giving. So giving yourself the time, giving yourself to look back and be grateful every single day you get up. Take a deep breath and remind yourself how grateful you are just to have this life to be alive. And from time to time, before going to bed, make a review on what you have done in the day. If something that you have already did your best, okay, look at it. Okay, I have really tried my best. That's fantastic. So you can be kinder to yourself in that way. If something is not, take a mental note the next day, allow me to start it again. So you see, in that way, instead of these negative criticism that you give to yourself, it creates this a positive constructive advice that you can use as a step to rather to develop yourself. So that is how we deal with critics. In the other words, look inside of you, not at others. There is actually a passage in Buddhism said, the Buddha said, don't compare yourself with someone who is superior to you. Don't compare yourself with someone who is inferior to you. And don't compare yourself to someone who is equal to you. In other words, compare yourself with no one but you. Every single day is more about have you done the best you can. If that's it. Looking back on yourself, giving that love, be kind, be grateful that every single day you get up, each night, look back, review. I have already done my best. I can sleep tonight with a smile on my face. Each day, if you take those steps, you'll be able to reduce the criticism that you have. Because although that critics come from comparing with something out there. And if you keep comparing, there is no way we can get this peace of mind. So I hope that gives you some tips to deal with it, Fiona. So if there is no further questions, it seems. Okay, thank you very much. And from Stirabe Club members, well, all in one room. Very good. Thank you. So if there is no further questions, I hope you had a good time and look forward to see all of you again on the 9th, which is I will be here again. So for today, have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you, LP, to lead this session, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Let's everyone pay respect to our teaching monk together. Bow, bow, bow.
May the positive energy that you cultivated from reaching inner peace always bring you joy, happiness, and always have that light of peace inside of you to guide your life all the way. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Hope we meet us again next session. Bye-bye.